Hey guys, my name is Moon and welcome back for more Umineko When They Cry. So last episode, we see the aftermath of, what do you call this? The incident, right? That happened in the storehouse. All of them pretty shocked. And then Ava, I mean, she was shocked in the beginning, right? But now she's kind of being suspicious of the servants, right? And her and Butler had a conversation about it. And also Higurashi got name dropped last time, right? So let us continue and let's see what happens today. Each one of the survivors has some kind of connection to one of the 6 victims. Uncle Krause's death brought Jessica the grief of losing a family member. The deaths of Dad and Kirie-san brought me sorrow, while Aunt Rosa's death brought Mari a sorrow. I mean, she didn't really. Goda-san's death probably shocked his fellow servants. And Shannon-san's death brought grief to both George Aniki, who had proposed to her, and Ikanen-kun, who loved her like an older sister. Everyone now on this island has received an equal amount of sadness. Aunt Ava was sure the servants were in cahoots. But then, how could you explain the deaths of Goda-san and Shannon-chan? At any rate, by this argument, the grief caused by the 6 deaths hit everyone but Aunt Ava and Uncle Hideyoshi. Even Aunt Ava, who had directed suspicion at the servants and acted as though she herself was beyond suspicion. But I didn't mention this last time. If all of them are alive, Aunt Ava, Uncle Hideyoshi, George Aniki, right? And no one from their family died, right? Okay, could not be ruled as a suspect. In the first place, she was able to argue that the servants were suspicious by focusing on the shutter ski. But if you look at it from a perspective of a motive and who would gain, Aunt Ava's name rises to the top of the list. Yes, I was saying this last episode.
Butler 君が何を考えてるかおばさんわかるわよ。
わ嫌だな。内緒にしててくださいよ。あんなことやこんなことで頭をいっぱいにしてたなんて。
私がこの殺人で一番得をする。どうせ疑われるだろうから先に自己申告しておくわ。
I tried to dodge the issue by joking around, but apparently it didn't work. I mean, she's not stupid. Of course everyone, or a lot of them, would suspect her, because she gains everything from this.
遺産は兄弟の数で分割する。でも今や4兄弟は私一人。後宮家の全財産は全て私のものになるの。
秀吉おじさんが聞いたら予算買えばシャレにならんっていうところっすね。
ごめんね。どう取り繕ったってどうせ疑われるだろうからふざけただけよ。だからこの殺人は私の立場から見れば私を疑わせるためのものではないかと思ってるの。困ったことに昨べのアリバイは弱いわ。
聞かせてもらってもいいっすか。昨べのことを。
バトラ君たちも知っている通り兄弟が遺産をどう食いちぎり合うかという話し合いは深夜まで続いたわ。でも何時まで続いたかは知らない。私と主人は朝が早かったからね。もう眠くて24時を過ぎたあたりで抜けさせてもらったの。そしてゲストハウスに戻って休んだわ。
それを秀吉おじさん以外の誰かに証明できるっすか。
I mean, that's her husband. He will protect her.
いや別にエヴァおばさんを疑ってるわけじゃないっすよ。
Like, yeah, it's hard to ask, yeah, someone's a husband for for being the witness, right? Because yeah, he can just say, yeah, she was with me, right?
あら、どうだか証明になるかわからないけれど、ゲストハウスに戻ってきた時、源氏さんに出迎えを受けてタオルはいるかと聞かれたわ。
Okay, there's Genji-san, and maybe we can ask him.
だから私たちがゲストハウスに戻ってきた時間は24時過ぎだと証明してくれると思うわよ。
But yeah, they said a little after midnight. But yeah, didn't it happen in midnight though? Or I'm just assuming because yeah, when they were showing the cinematic there, right? It was midnight and then there were like these butterflies started to come.
もっとも私の仮説通り使用人たちもグルなのだとしたらこんなのアリバイにならないけどね。
確かにそうっすね。ってことは俺今真犯人と推理ごっこをしてるってことになるんすか？
でも私の名誉のために言わせてもらうけど、遺産目当てだったならこんな変な殺人はしないわよ。だって遺産相続権を喪失させるだけならどんな死に方だって構わない。むしろ事故死に見せかけた方がスマートでしょ。使用人たちを抱き込んで周到に計画していたならなおさらそうするでしょうよ。
確かにそうっすね。営利で人を殺すならそれは常に殺人に見せるべきではない。
そういうことよ。だからおばさんは今からとてもブルーな気持ちなわけ。警察には黒幕扱いされて散々調べられるでしょうね。やだやだ。
Aunt Ava shrugged with a bitter smile. It was just as easy to suspect Aunt Ava as it was to suspect the servants. So if you spin the chessboard around, does that make it impossible for the culprit to be her, suspicious as she is? However, if that sort of argument always works, then a motive can never help us in any way. No, that can't be right. Knowing the motive must give us powerful clues towards knowing the culprit. That's why murderers from all time periods disguise crimes in complicated ways, cleverly preventing their motives from being discovered. I don't get it though, I just don't get it. Every time I spin the chessboard around, it keeps flipping from the front to the back and back to the front. Are my thoughts bringing me closer to the truth? Or are they? But yeah. Udo. For our suspect list, I think Aunt Ava is gonna be the number one right now. The servants, you can't really say who. I think for the servants, if there is one of them, it may be Genji, right? For example. But other than that, no one else. And then for us, yeah, for the Ushinomiya family, I mean, it's Ava only. I can't think of anybody else. It can't be Natsui, right? The kids, it can't be them, right? Hideyoshi, maybe accomplice, but who knows, right? Aunt Ava didn't want to talk any more than that, so I folded my arms and headed to the window to cool my head a little. So for now, let's just say no clue, no idea. As I looked over the parlor, I saw George, Aniki, and the others gathered, talking. It looked like they were talking about the magic circle that had been painted onto the shutter. As Uncle Hideyoshi thought, back to the time, he started drawing the shape in the margins of Maria's notebook. I see, since Maria was second only to grandfather in knowledge of the occult, she might understand what it meant.
多分こんな感じだったと思うで。十字架をアレンジしたみたいなマークが書かれとったんや。そしてこんな感じで外周の円を取り囲むように妙な文字がびっしり書き込まれていて、十字架の上下左右の辺とその四隅にも何か書かれていたんや。アルファベットとかそういうのとちゃうで。あれはよく言う古代文字とかいうやつや。
あと円周部の頂点に小さなマークがありましたな。小さな丸を5つ、 十字状に並べ、それぞれを直線で結んだようなマークでした。
ああ、確かにそんなのも書いてあったで。うん、図形的には間違いなくこれや。細かい文字はわからんが、配列はほぼ同じや。
Everyone was staring down at the shape, so I stared down at it too. Dude, can you even remember that? Like, look at this. Insane. From what I heard, this had been painted onto the shutter to the storehouse. It's a material that looked like blood. I see. This is sure unsettling.
こんなわけのわかんねえもんを書きたがるのはじいさまだけだろ。まったく、どこに行っちまったんだ。とっ捕まえて意味を聞き出してやりたいぜ。
Jessica's voice contained impatience and anger. She hadn't gone so far as to say grandfather was a culprit. But she seemed sure that grandfather knew something about the culprit's background. Of course, if you were searching for a link connecting the Oshirimiya family to the occult, 10 out of 10 people would think of grandfather. Yes, and the next one would be the little kid Mario. Also, to a person who knew nothing of the occult, this strange mark would have no meaning. I mean, like, even if you don't know anything of the occult, like when you see a circle like this, like, I guess, no, I'm thinking like, yeah, for us, for like people like us, right? We've seen like in movies and shows, and so even if you don't really like check out the occult and stuff, you would have seen this already, something like this, right? And it's like, oh, it's like a demon circle or whatever, right? But yeah, the timeline in this game is 1980s, right? So, I mean, there are TVs here as well. But I guess not that much, like, you don't really see, like, demon circles like this. I'm not sure. But yeah, for me, if I see something like this, yeah, I would think that, like, oh, it's a demon or a devil or whatever. Devil worship, demon worship, or anything like that. Which meant that this might have been something addressed to grandfather. That's right, the reason the crime was shown to the survivors was so they'd find this. In that case, where had grandfather, the essential recipient of this message, disappeared off to?
こんな図形に何か心当たりはあるかい？
Maria looked at the shape with a serious face. Maybe she was enthusiastic because this was her area of expertise. However, her appearance was that of someone separated from the events at hand. As though this thing hadn't been drawn into the shutter closed around her mother's corpse.
僕の第一印象では、どこか外国の十字章に似たデザインだなって思ったかな。
ああ、確かにこんなデザインや。ということはどこぞの国と何か関係があるんか？
その国の十字章はもともと聖地巡礼者を守るための騎士修道士たちの紋章だったそうですな。
つまりこの魔法陣には宗教的な意味があるってことかよ。ますますにちんぷんかんぷんだぜ。
Okay, when I look over at them, preparing to jump into the discussion, something shocked me. Oh! Maria was smiling, an eerie and incomprehensible expression on her face. Maria, it's you, isn't it? It was almost as if she was making fun of everyone's ignorance. It was an expression I wouldn't have dreamed to find on Maria's face. Gee, oh my god. And she laughed. Look at her eyes though, there's something she's seeing, I guess, right? Hey, it looks like a woman, I mean. And then there's a hat. Yeah, based on the silhouette on her eyes, right? You see that? That eerie, jarring laugh was something I didn't want to believe was possible, even though I was looking at at it right in front of my eyes. And she's... Oh my... Dude. I was gonna say it looks like maybe Beatrice, right? Oh, look at this, man. It's crazy scary. Look at the teeth.
全然違うよみんな
It looks like she's possessed. Again, let's say possessed.
こんなの見てわかんないかな
While everyone was busy being scared out of their wits, Maria kept on cackling happily by herself. Dude, look at this. I think this is one of the most scariest things I've seen in this, what do you call this? Ryukishi stuff, right? In Higurashi, do we see some stuff like scary like this? Not really, right? I mean, art like this, art. No, not really, right? Maybe there's some stuff there, but not like this. After a while, the laugh was suddenly and abruptly cut off. But her expression still looked like it belonged to someone completely different.
これは太陽の7の魔法陣だよ書かれてる文字はヘブライ語
Look at that smug look in her face, though.
貸して
The characters are written in Hebrew, okay. Maria stole the writing materials from the stunned Hideyoshi's hand. She then started drawing another magic circle, with a rustle right next to the one Hideyoshi had drawn.
ね
Oh my, look at her eyes now.
こんな図形だったんじゃないかな
そんな図形だった。
マリア、すごいな。さすが詳しいぜ。
Jessica tried to smooth things over by praising Maria. Maybe she wanted to confirm that this was still the Maria we all knew so well. But Maria didn't answer her in any way in particular. Maria began swiftly writing unfamiliar characters in the corners of the shape. When Uncle Hideyoshi and Dr. Nanjo saw them, their eyes immediately began to open wide.
天地と左右に書かれているのは風化水道を司る天使たちの名カサン、アレル、タリアハド、そしてフォルラクそして斜め四方には4代の統治者たちの名アリエル、セラフ、タルシス、ケルブ
Shasan, Aral, Porkla, what is that? 4 great kings, Ariel, Seraph, Tarshish, and Cherub.
合ってる
Who would know this though? Even if they hadn't been able to correctly write what they'd seen, when they were once again shown something identical, it wasn't difficult for them to realize the two were the same. When Maria asked them whether it matched, Uncle Hideyoshi and Dr. Nanjo nodded over and over again.
間違いない。そうや。確かにこんな文字が書かれとった。なんでこんなん書けるんや。
あと演習部にも文字が書かれておりましたな。
分かってるよこうでしょ
Maria quickly began to surround a circumference with more Hebrew writing.
旧約聖書の詩編第116編の16節と17節だよ聖書くらい読んでなきゃ
Acting as though knowing this was only common sense, Maria laughed. For a while, everyone, including me, was at a loss of words. A little later, George Aniki returned to his senses and slowly managed to speak.
すごいね。驚いたよ。それで、この魔法陣にはどんな意味があるんだい？
太陽の力を借りる魔法陣だよ黄金で描き護符にして身につけたる者はいかなる牢獄であろうとも束縛から逃れ自由を得られる力を授けられる
束縛から逃れ自由を得られる意味深だぜ
この束縛という意味は何も肉体的なものだけを指さないと解釈されている だから縛られて牢屋にいる人ばかりに意味があるわけじゃないよ。しがらみや逃れぬ運命など精神的な束縛からの解放も意味してるんだよ。
しがらみや逃れ得ぬ運命か。これまた意味深だな。
しかしさっぱりわからん。それとあの6人の遺体とどんな関係があるっちゅうんや。束縛からの解放どころか殺された上に倉庫に閉じ込められてたんやで。
別にその6人のために魔法陣が描かれてるわけじゃないね。魔法陣のために6人はそこにいるんでしょう。お気の毒だよ。
どういう意味だい？魔法陣のために6人がいるってのは一体。
Maria lifted up her pointer finger and waggled it as if she were making fun of us.
それは演習部に書いてるよ。読めないかな。詩編第116編16節と17節。読んであげるよ。主は私の枷を解かれました。私はあなたに感謝の生贄を捧げ、主の皆を呼ぶでしょう。ね。
ねって何を言ってるのかさっぱりだぜ。
Yeah, I got no idea.
生贄だってのか。
If what Maria just read aloud was a vital part of the magic circle, then it was saying that sacrifices had to be offered in order for this magic circle to be effective. So human sacrifices had been offered inside a star house where the magic circle had been drawn. A heartbeat later, everyone else seemed to reach the same conclusion. Some people were shocked and others spat out that this was insane as they punched their knees. This was starting to get incredibly disturbing, and we couldn't accept it or understand it. I don't care what kind of magic circles or curses other people believe in. I won't pick a fight with them. But did they really kill Dad and the rest as a sacrifice for crap like that? I just couldn't stand that feeling. Compared to this, I preferred it when we were still disgusted by that theory about the fight over the inheritance. As I started getting pissed off with a feeling between anger and sadness, I broke from the circle everyone was in and returned once again to the window. Something had gone insane since yesterday. There was a letter from the witch Beatrice that Maria had read out aloud at last night's dinner. Ever since that point, it feels like like his whole mansion, this whole island, have been getting more and more firmly locked inside some kind of bizarre world. That's right. When I think back on it, the letter was an invitation from the witch. The ruler of the nighttime island had invited us inhabitants of the day into another world. The phone and radio had been interrupted and the island was shut off by the typhoon, so you really could call this place another world cut off from the real one by now. Yeah, as this island is now, it's perfectly normal for a witch to send us letters and for human sacrifices to be offered up for the sake of magic circles. So what will happen next? Will some weird people wearing goat masks start doing the Bon Festival dance or something? It's hopeless. I don't get it. The inside of my head's all screwed up and I don't even know what to think. Anger, sadness, the opposite emotions all swirl up together and they started to suck me in. Unable to resist, I could do nothing but cover my eyes with my hands and trust in my mind and body as I started getting sucked in. Okay, but yeah, okay, let me just see the next scene first. So, I was thinking while we were seeing Maria like that, right? Okay, spoilers again for Higurashi. If you hadn't seen that, just mute this for now. But in Higurashi, right, like in the first chapter, when Keiichi was getting crazier, right? Like we see some of the characters become or have like they act like they're being possessed, right? And their eyes were different. But yeah, in this one, I don't think it's like that. For Maria, I mean, I think she's like, it looks like she's being a what do you call this? Like she's possessed or something. Like when she's not her normal self, right? She's she's a kid basically, right? And then she does her noises, sounds are like the, what was it? Ooh sound, right? Multiple times, all the time, whenever she talks. But then she was talking here earlier. She was smug about it, like making fun of them. She has this this creepy smile, right? And then when she was talking, it's fully straight. I mean, like when she's saying something, it's fully straight. No noises, no nothing like that. It seems like she's a different person, right? So, is it? I wanted to know why she's like this. But I don't think it's gonna be like the same for Rika, right? From Higurashi. I don't think it's like that. Like she's different, right? No, she's different. She's she's older, right? In Higurashi. I don't think it's like that for Maria, but why does she act like that? Maybe she is really possessed, right? But we'll find out. I guess that is one of the mysteries of Rokinjima right now. Why is Ushiromiya Maria like that? Whenever she talks about the witch, she goes into this different mode, right? And she acts like that. Very creepy, very disturbing for a little girl. Okay, let's continue. As I started losing heart, I began to recall a memory from when I was small. Sorry about that. I accidentally clicked the other button. It was from when I was very young. I had unfortunately seen a scary occult movie on TV, and for a while I hadn't even been able to go to the bathroom by myself. I mean, it is kind of true. Yeah, whenever I watch a movie and then afterwards you watch it, right? And then yeah, it's nighttime, it's dark. You go to the bathroom or get some water from the fridge, right? And it's no lights on. Scary. I couldn't go. That old bastard gave an exaggerated laugh and said this.
なあバトラ、どうして悪魔だのオカルトだのってのをわざわざこうして映画にすると思う？
Okay, explain.
ねえからだよ。そんな滑稽なもんは地球のどこにもねえのさ。ねえからわざわざ見たくて作るんだよ。だから俺はオカルト映画なんてちゃんちゃらおかしくて笑っちまうってんだ。俺に言わせりゃ悪魔やら妖怪やらより今年度の収支報告や機嫌を悪くした女房の方が1億倍も怖えってもんだぜ。
But I wonder though, right? In like the actresses, while they're making movies or TV shows, like horror stuff, right? And yet they're doing like these magic circles, all of these things, right? Like, do they find that creepy or what, right? Imagine doing that, right? Stuff like that. Yeah, sure, it's for movies, but yeah, these are made by actors that are actually playing a part and doing that, right? I can imagine what it is like in a set for a horror movie, like a very, very scary horror movie, right?
さらに言うぜ。俺に怖がるってのは心と生活にゆとりのある連中の娯楽的感情なのさ。暇でしょうがないから。連中は変わった感情で心を遊ばせたくて悪魔だのオカルトだのって文化を作り出したんだよ。
Seriously, why have I been acting so damn thick-headed? I was so totally taken in. Don't try to mess with me. This is the human world. I don't give a damn about witches, demons, magic circles, and sacrifices. The humans who killed Dad and everyone else is still on the island. That's all there is to it, right? The next person who started speaking to my heart was Kirie-san.
チェスや将棋ってね、終盤の終盤、詰めの最後の段階に入れば入るほど 最善手は限られてくるのよ。だから自分が追い詰めている、あるいは追い詰められているというその時、両者の手は限りなく読みやすくなるのよ。つまり完全に追い詰められて打つ手なしって思ったその時こそ最も読みやすい瞬間なのよ。でも守勢に立った人間はどうしても考えが固くなって相手の手を読むことにまで考えが至らない。そういう時はね、チェス盤をひっくり返すの。
With all my strength, I slapped my face with both hands. Now my eyes were truly open. When you don't understand anything and you're completely cornered just like I am now, isn't that the perfect time to spin the chessboard around? While on the defensive, we can't even guess at the culprit's scheme. If we spin it around and look at it that way, just what might we see? First off, at the time the culprit committed the murders, they knew the island was being cut off by the typhoon. Therefore, they should have understood that even if they carried out the murders, they wouldn't be able to get away early the next morning. In short, the culprit had begun without securing a way to escape. Furthermore, that bastard tossed the corpses into the storehouse, then was even kind enough to say, "Here they are," with that weird bit of graffiti. True. In other words, since we'd probably find the corpse sooner or later, they wanted to show them to us. If we'd all been dim and hadn't noticed the storage shed, the culprit's goal would have not been achieved. If you think about it this way, that bastard of a culprit, since this morning they must have been watching our every move with bated breath. After all, if he hadn't been so kind as to discover what was on the storehouse, okay, all of that hard work and preparation they did last night would have just gone poof. What did the culprit want to make us feel by showing us the corpses in the storehouse? All 6 bodies had their faces notably destroyed. Was it a grudge? A warning? The defacement of the bodies that occurred after death? So it hadn't been the means by which the culprit had killed. But why are they not saying or talking about the epitaph, right, of the witch? Yeah, why are you not talking about that? Did anyone mention that, by the way? It didn't mean anything to those who had been killed. I think Kinzo mentioned it, but the others? Not yet, right? It did have a meaning to those who found the bodies. The culprit wanted to make it appear that they had been killed so brutally. After thinking this way, I really want to tell that bastard to stop taking me so lightly. We just danced to the tune. If you're told, please be scared, you can't just say, really? Sure thing. When someone tells that the great Ushirimiya butler, the entrance right here, I'm the kind of guy who'll start wanting to sneak in through the window. The next thing that had me concerned was a so-called magic circle on the shutter. As Marie, who had shown that her knowledge of the occult rivaled grandfather's, had recognized that the magic circle was genuine. They must have drawn that thing in pitch black darkness, taking a lot of time and holding an umbrella in one hand. Isn't that the amount of hard work and perfectionism impressive? What purpose would have been worth all for that effort? If we were looking for a fan of the occult in this mansion, most likely all of us would naturally suspect grandfather. Did they want to make us think grandfather was involved? But if that's all they wanted, they could have just drawn any old scribble that looked like a magic circle. It wasn't like any of us amateurs would be able to tell the difference between the genuine and the fake. True, yeah. But this is very detailed, right? However, this magic circle was genuine, and furthermore, it had been written in Hebrew. So this magic circle had a message that it could only be understood by someone with the knowledge of the occult. A message is a form of communication. By sending it, they were hoping for a reaction. A reaction? For some reason, we couldn't find grandfather now. I don't know how grandfather might have spotted the magic circle in the shutter, but did he choose to hide himself in reaction to that? I know, it was a trap to make us suspect that grandfather had participated. He could read it either way. Damn, that's annoying. What kind of reaction was the culprit hoping to get out of us by putting on this occult show? Somehow that felt like the culprit's weakest point. The letter from Beatrice and Mari had read aloud during the last night's dinner sprang back into my mind. This was a freak who would ask us to enjoy a battle of wits. Isn't that interesting? This is a battle of wits between us and the witch. Will we be sucked up by our occult game first? Or will we pull off our fake skin first? There's a whole day until the typhoon passes. Why not enjoy ourselves? I finally noticed that the inside of the parlor had gone quiet again. Everyone had sunk into their favorite sofas, into some deep thought. Some irritated, some acted depressed. Maria was once again enjoying the TV as if she'd never left. It looked like she found a commercial more fun than the boring program, and she happily yelled, and giggled. I stared at each person's appearance in turn. If there isn't a 19th person, the culprit must be in this room. Okay, just looking at them one by one. Who could it be though, right? Right now, Aunt Nazi is searching the mansion with the servants, right? Then we shouldn't say in this room. In this mansion is where the culprit has to be. After all, there was a possibility that Aunt Nazi was behind this. And we still can deny that one of the servants might be the killer. I don't see Nazi doing this though, I don't really see it. Anyone could be guilty. It's still Aunt Nazi and the rest sure are taking their time. Of course, it's not a small mansion, but isn't this taking a little too long just to walk around checking the windows and doors? Just as I was thinking this, Aunt Natsu and the rest returned. None of them was missing. But our relief was short-lived. Everyone looked at Aunt Natsu in shock. The talk I had with Aunt Ava started to creep back to my mind. The possibility that the culprits had enough in numbers or weapons to kill all of those six at once. Well, she got a shotgun. It's a shotgun, right? Yeah, a small one though. But it is a shotgun. But yeah, that thing could blow someone's head off, right? After all, the thing in Aunt Nazi's hand was a rifle. At a glance, it still would look like a hunting gun, but yeah, it looks like a shotgun though. But it was unusually short and kind of looked like a kid-sized weapon. Yeah, a small one. However, it had weightiness to it, made it clear it was no kid's toy.
それは金蔵さんの銃ですな。
ご存知でしたか？そうです。
What do you call a small shotgun again? Like a sawed-off shotgun? The smaller one?
お父様の古いコレクションの中にあったことを思い出し、探し出してきました。
ひゅー、すっげえ。夏日おばさん、それ本物なんすか？
ええ、本物です。実弾を発砲できますよ。昔お父様は野鳥を追い払うのに使ったりしていました。あら懐かしい。どこから出てきたんやら。私がいくら触らせてって言っても指一本触れさせてくれなかったやつよ。
じいさまこんなの持ってたんですか？知らなかったですよ。
お父様は昔西部劇にどっぷり使ってたことがあってね。 あの世代はこういうライフル銃が大好きなのよ。
結構年季の入った銃のようですね。
Oh, Winchester. Okay, yeah, it kind of looks like it, but a smaller one.
でもこんな短い仕様のは初めて見ました。
Yeah, but it's very short though. Kind of looks like it, but it's much more shorter.
ああ、思い出したわ、その銃。懐かしいな。昔好きやった映画のガンマンが派手にぶっ放しとったやつだわ。お父さんも渋いな。
親方様がだいぶ昔に。ご覧の通り実銃ですので、どうかこの件はご内密にお願いいたします。
手に入れられたばかりの頃は大層気に入られておりまして、撃つより薬莢を出す動作が面白いらしくて、裏の森でいろいろとかっこつけて遊んでおられたもんですよ。
しかし物騒ね。そんなものまで持ち出しちゃうのかしら。
万が一に備えてです。族はおそらく一人ではないでしょう。しかも主人たちを6人も殺した恐ろしい相手です。私には主人に代わって皆さんを明日まで守る義務がありますので。
As Natsuki-san said this, she slumped down into one of the sofas and took a deep breath. She had been trying to find grandfather as well as check the doors and the windows. Since grandfather wasn't with her, she probably still didn't know where he was.
屋敷内の戸締まりは厳重に確認してきました。ですが万が一ということもあります。みんななるべくここに一緒にいた方がいいでしょう。
そうね。ここに全員が集まって相互監視をしている方が安心だわ。
それはどういう意味ですか、エヴァさん。
別に夏日姉さんの意見に賛成しただけよ。
There was a stormy atmosphere between the two of them. If you think about who was the most suspicious from the inheritance problem standpoint, Aunt Ava was the obvious answer. However, there's no proof that Aunt Natsuki was innocent. No, if you view Beatrice's letter as one of grandfather's complicated pranks and think of this as a crime as just an extension of that, there is more than enough reason to suspect even grandfather. Also, Aunt Natsuki thought the criminal was on the outside, but Aunt Ava thought the criminal was in the inside. In short, it was a question of whether or not a 19th person exists. The same question had been repeated endlessly since last night's dinner, with a letter from the witch who called herself Beatrice. So the culprit is among us or not? And did the witch Beatrice exist or not? But you can see how different they are, right? Like, what do you call this? Ava is quick to be suspicious of the servants, right? Instantly. And then for Natsuki, I guess she cares for her family. She's loyal to the Ushirimiya family. And for her, she thinks that it was a different person, right? She couldn't say like, oh, it may be one of her people in the house or one of her family members. But no, for her, it's different people. If you assume that something as stupid as a witch can exist, you're basically saying that one of the relatives here who share a common bloodline is the culprit. If that was too unpleasant, I'd be much more comfortable to simply accept the fairy tale-like character of the witch. A witch. A witch drawing a bizarre magic circle and offering human sacrifices. If I could accept that rubbish, I'd be all able to trust all the people in this room. However, damn common sense got in the way. I kept repeating that witches don't exist. In that case... sorry. In the middle of a seemingly endless rain, none of us could break a silence. Oh, it cracked. Umineko no Naku Koroni. What time is it? Oh! Okay, it's okay. 1 p.m. Occult? Lunch ended, and the servants removed the tableware and went to the kitchen. Okay. Let's take a break here. But yeah. Honestly, with the what do you call it? An inclusion, but now we got a gun here, right? But the gun could be used to blow people's heads, right? Let me see this again. We could see the characters, right? Like, look at this. Yeah, you could shoot. For example, shoot Kraus in the head, right? Blow that part off. Kyrie, Rudolph, Rosa, Shannon. I mean, it's easily, right? Easily with a gun like that, right? But yeah, it's very, very hard though. Very, very hard to think who could have done it. I don't know. Like, you can say, oh, Natsuhi here, right? Could she do it? Could she really do it? She's very, very loyal to her family because she wants a place in this family, right? But yeah, is she willing to, yeah, to do all of that? I don't think so. Ava right here, unless Ava, for example, yeah, unless the second epitaph happens, right? This one, where is it? Second Twilight happens, and it's not Ava and Hideyoshi, and she survives. If she survives, it's probably her. But if she does not survive, then I don't know anymore. Yeah, very hard to say. So 1 p.m. So second Twilight. So it's gonna be a couple hours. A couple hours. Yeah, it's gonna be later, right? Grimoire. So we don't really get anything from the Grimoire, right? Large Japanese number. So nothing really from here. Okay, I do wonder though. I do wonder. But yeah, the scene with Maria earlier, right? Very, very creepy. Very, very creepy scene there. I like how this game, Umineko, has a lot more, what do you call this, art? The actual art, they have much more compared to Higurashi. Higurashi had not that many, especially in the earlier chapters, right? But for this one, they have, yeah, I think they have much more, right? And it's nice the way they're showing like the creepy Maria there. It started like a normal face, she was smiling, and then afterward she had something in her eye, right? She's like seeing a silhouette. I guess you could say like she's being possessed already at that point, right? And then afterwards it's the creepy let's say creepy possessed Maria now, right? But it's amazing. It's nice, amazing how they show it to us, not just full on words describing it, right? They actually showed us a picture of it, so it is scary. But yeah, we are gonna continue this and do more of Umineko When They Cry in the next one. So I'll just see you then, guys. Bye bye.